We are in week
episode 11.
Episode 10, week 9. Right?
Yes.
Oh!
Yes.
By the way, sorry for last week. Apparently we didn't have the microphone turned on. So,
For that helps.
We thought we'd give you a little taste of it this week. We're going to start over now. Welcome to Inside the Big Dynasty League. You guys let us know which way's better. Maybe it's better without the sound. I don't know.
You just add your own words, make it a bad lip reading.
As always, I'm your host, Mike. With me, as always, Clyde Randall Waters. And with us this week, the Stat Man.
Where's the commish?
I called you commish, didn't I?
No, you called me Clyde Randall Waters.
The commish! Clyde Randall Waters. And our own Stat Man, Petey Cunningham.
Statman live in person.
Actually here this week.
Actually here.
Making a rare appearance on Inside the Big Dynasty League. It is nice to be back.
So, your team's been a little underperforming this season. Is that why you've been missing the show?
No, I mean, well, okay, maybe part of it. Maybe part of it, but underperforming isn't the right word. Injured is the right word. That's the right word. And then going all in on a player and...
Excuses. This is the right word, right?
Losing your depth. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if you lose 2 top running backs and a top wide receiver, your season's pretty much over.
Didn't that happen to the 69ers and they're still winning?
Yeah, the 69ers have gone through 3 top 5 running backs.
That's what I thought. But you know, hey...
But when you can just trade a player that isn't going to play the rest of the year for another top 5 running back, I mean, that helps.
When people just hand people players for nobody.
If once you do that for me, I'm in.
Anyway, let's take a look at last week's matchup of the week.
Matchup of the week.
Which some of you may know if you're good at reading lips and actually sat through the silence for a half hour. Who was it last week?
Who? Calvin who? Against the FC Acid Kickers.
Versus the FC Acid Kickers. Statman. I know you've been out of practice, but can you break this one down for us?
I can break this one down. We this matchup was a little close. Close. I think it was a close shave.
We'll get to that in the awards.
In this matchup.
That's called a tease.
A tease.
Keep you listening and watching.
Yes, FCS Kickers went with the 0-player strategy in Bishop's Hanky. I'm afraid that it actually cost them this time, though. Normally when you go with the 0-player, you get the win. This time, I think it actually did cost them, although I have no idea who was on their bench. They could have done any better. But who was on their bench?
Sammy Watkins was on their bench.
Ooh.
And he had 30.8 points.
Both of their other running backs were on bye.
I'm not a mathematician.
One of their other running backs isn't even on the team anymore. So they were going to be a 0-player. The other running back was on bye. So they literally had nobody else to play. So I don't know. Bad week for the Acid Kickers.
I mean, seriously, how much does it suck to lose when you put up 141 points?
Yeah, I mean, that should win. That'd beat several other teams.
That is almost a...
It'll beat me.
I mean, like I said, I've been saying all season, I think the magic number of this league is like right around like 133. If you can get at least 133 points, you're almost guaranteed a win in this league.
Unless you're playing the Scarlet Pimps.
Or
the Pimps!
Or the 69ers.
Or the Niners. There are anomalies, but no, I did the math.
Rest of us podunk.
I averaged out winning records and everything for the last 2 seasons prior to this season, and that's what it came to.
Maybe we should call you the stat man.
He's taking my job over. I'm not here.
Well, you're not here. Someone's got to look like they know what they're doing.
slack.
I was trying to change my draft strategy. I finished last in this league 2 years in a row, and I'm the commish.
Yeah, those who can't do commish. Isn't that how the saying goes?
Yeah.
Fantasy football, I think that's right.
All right.
FCS kickers even had 37 points combined from their kicker and their defense, and 30 from their tight end, Delaney Walker, and it wasn't enough to get it done.
I mean, Calvin Hu tried to lose it, though. He gave them a -3 points from their defense.
Yeah.
But despite his best efforts, Calvin Hu managed to win a game.
Got the win and still in playoff contention. They're 6-5.
There you go.
Last season left to go.
All right, next up, the next matchup we're going to look at here is the San Francisco 69ers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for about 2 years now, that is still a sex joke, versus Los Pandas Desnudo.
That's me.
Statman, break it down.
I don't know if we really want to break this one down for Los Pandas Desnudo's sake. This, not a pretty matchup. Yeah, I mean, this was a rematch of the game 2 weeks ago, week 7, and you couldn't even tell the difference really between the two matchups. So, rough day. Antonio Brown, 17 catches, 286 yards. Jeremy Langford steps in for Matt Forte, tears it up. Los Pandas Desnudos, with picking up D'Angelo Williams, thought it might actually help you get the win with 38 points, but the rest of the team just not there. Rough week for Los Pandas Desnudos.
Mitch, you got anything to add? Nope. Okay.
No? All right.
Moving on, let's take a look at the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons, owned by your own Mike and host of Inside the Big Dynasty League, versus Hernandez Pistol Offense, owned by Timmy Crawford, an employee of a company who does stuff. Statman, break it down.
Hernandez Pistol Offense against the Bourbon Barons. Hernandez Pistol Offense keeps their tie for the lead in that division, I believe, at 8-3 with the win here. Beats Bourbon Barons by 23 points. Really thought the Bourbon Barons had a shot in this one. Jordan Matthews with 28 points. Brandon Cooks with 17. Phillip Rivers, though, the wide receiver injuries there in San Diego really impacting Rivers' performance. He had 15.
Yeah.
Drew Brees with another big day with 34 points. And Randall Cobb finally returned into Randall Cobb form, maybe.
Should be another 6 points added to Randall Cobb there. Should be.
But there's not.
It's not. It was devastating. Aaron Rodgers so upset he threw his laptop.
Yep.
It was a tablet, sir.
I believe you could do some bad lip reading on what he said when he threw it down. So I think you could do it there as well.
Yeah, this was a rough week. I've been struggling all year, trying to since I traded Gronk, really fill in the tight end position between Larry Donnell and Owen Daniels. I feel like every week I start the wrong one. So I don't know. This week I definitely started the wrong one. Could have pulled off a win.
Hernandez Pistol Offense, like you said, still tied for first in this division, which has proven to be the tougher of the two divisions. But, Statman, what was your prediction preseason for Hernandez Pistol Offense? Did they make your playoff list at first? No, they didn't.
But I didn't even fill my playoff roster before finalizing it. And once I finalized it, Hernandez Pistol Offense made the cut after Timmy said, beep you a couple times. Yeah. But
according to the notes, that is correct.
But anyway, I had them in my final playoff picks, along with most of the other teams in the playoffs, I believe.
Well, playoffs ain't here yet. All right? There's a lot of football
still a few
left.
Weeks left, including our last doubleheader.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we got Wax On, Wax Off versus Wolfgang United, Rocky Mountain High. Commish, you got anything to say about this one?
What are we looking at?
Wolfgang versus Hoff.
The
next one on the list.
I was not planning on talking about this one. Michael Crabtree coming out of nowhere, 29.8 points.
Big time game for Michael Crabtree from Derek Carr.
From Derek Carr, I mean, and that game was just crazy with all the points that the Steelers put up, and then what Oakland put up there. I mean, Amari Cooper had 21 points alone too.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Carr was just slinging that ball around. But yeah, surprise game there from Michael Crabtree. Alan Hearns, Alshon Jeffrey seems to be back in full form.
He's looking good.
This was a solid performance here by Wax On, Wax Off. Wax on, Wax Off.
Yeah, total team effort. Tight end, kicker, and defense all kind of sucked a little bit. But 141, even with those three positions, not really bringing him much. That's a good week. And if he's going to, he's got the Scarlet Pimps coming up, he's going to need all he can do.
Pimps!
It's also worth noting here, too, that Marcus Mariota came out with 41.34 points.
I think it may be a good fantasy football strategy, maybe not a great fantasy football strategy, but to play any quarterback that is starting against the New Orleans defense. My God, are
Probably
they terrible.
wise.
They
I
are
know.
terrible.
I tried to pick up Kirk Cousins in 3 different leagues this week. Failed.
It's sad.
But
it's the thought that counts.
They use traditional waiver wires, and I'm like doing well in these leagues, and
So not like this.
Traditional waiver
I
wire.
didn't have priority, and it became a thing.
All right, the next matchup is the Ricky Bobby team versus the Statman's Wayne Enterprises. Statman, break down this game for us.
I really don't even want to break this matchup
Just
down.
pillow fight, if you will.
I got the win, and that's all that matters. I'm ready to move on. This was a pillow fight of epic proportions right here. This was terrible. Terrible. Deion Lewis now out for the year to go along with Le'Veon Bell and Steve Smith, who both exited the league last week. So, yeah, I'm ready to just move on.
All right, last matchup we're going to look at here is the Scarlet Pimps. Pimps versus Victoria's Secret.
It's a rematch of the cat fight.
Statman, break it down.
Last time these two teams matched up, Victoria's Secret showed that she was still the alpha female in the league. And Scarlet Pimps smacked her a little bit this week and said, no, there's a...
You're saying her pimp hand was strong?
The pimp hand worked well this week with almost a 30-point crush and defeat of Victoria's Secret, who put up 140 and a loss. Another high-scoring loss here.
Oof.
I mean, if she would have been more efficient, Victoria's Secret could have probably pulled off this win. She left a lot of points sitting on her bench.
A lot of points on the bench, but let's see, potential points for Victoria's Secret was 162, would have been the best roster, and still wouldn't have been enough to get it done against the Pimps. So Pimps just keep rolling along, 9-2 now, stranglehold on the division. Both the second place teams are 6-5. It's going to take a colossal collapse for the Pimps to lose this division lead, and I don't think it's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. She's even got Derek Carr at the backup position at the quarterback. Too deep there. Devontae Freeman, DeMarco Murray tearing it up. Loses Malcolm Floyd for the year, though. So a little bit of a shot to the wide receiving core, but still has Julio Jones and Eric Decker and gets DeAndre Hopkins back off a bye. Team's ready to roll.
Yes, this team is definitely ready to roll.
Well, Julio got the stretch. So now they're ready to roll. A little Uptown Funk for you. Don't believe me?
We moved on. It's all about going downtown now. It's all about downtown.
I like the Uptown Funk. But anyway.
I like the Uptown.
Moving on to our awards of the week. First up, as always, every week we go with this one first, the Hershey Milk Dud of the Week. And this is for the player that just sucked and got stuck in your teeth and just underperformed like a crazy person. And that one this week belongs to who, Statman?
My very own Eddie Lacy. My man, Eddie Lacy. Been on fire this year and just somehow laid an egg this week. I didn't see it coming at all. I thought he was going to get another 15 to 20 point performance this week, just like the rest of the year, and it didn't happen.
Did I see he has a groin injury? Is it a groin injury?
Something about his... No, I'm not going to go there.
Something about his groin.
Yeah. Yep, Eddie Lacy, terrible.
Yeah, minus 1 point.
That's really hard to do. That is really, really hard to do.
Especially for a running back.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw this week that James Starks is now the number 1 running back in Green Bay. Eddie Lacy is now number 2. And number 2 is very representative of Eddie Lacy's performance this year. So...
Get it. It's a potty joke.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah, so Eddie Lacy, terrible.
Poop.
We're going to ride him out the rest of the year since I have no other running backs on my team that are healthy. So we're going to see what he does.
All right, next up.
You traded 2 away to Mike. He might be able to spare one back
I know.
for you.
I gave up 2 of them and really wish I had one of them back anyway.
We can make deals. We can make deals.
I'm giving up on the year. I'm ready for next year.
All right. You can make deals for next year. You can keep players in this league.
That's true.
Next up, we got the Ram Pick of the Week. Ram, brought to you by Ram, built by Ram, sold by Ram, for Rams, and people who want trucks.
And driven by Clyde.
And driven by Clyde.
The commish.
That's me.
The commish. Clyde Randall Waters.
Uh-huh.
And as a coincidence, he happened to earn this award this week by picking up D'Angelo Williams. Commish, talk about it.
Well, I'm at a pivotal point in this season. I really needed a win, so I decided to go all in. I had $50 left in blind bidding. Almost all my buys were over. I decided to throw a sizable chunk of that into this, and it came through. I don't know if I way overbid or not, but $45 got me a 38.5 point performance here.
That's more than $1 per point, though.
It is. What's even more sad, though, is that D'Angelo Williams hasn't practiced for 2 days with a foot injury. So we'll see if he even plays this week and or the rest of the season.
He just blew all of his points last week, and he's out of points for the rest of the year.
All right, next up, we got the Big Mac Daddy Whoopin' of the Week, brought to you by Burger King. The McDonald's, they have the Big Mac. It's the Whopper by Burger King.
You were costing us so many sponsorships this
I
year.
know. The lawsuits this year. Oh, my God.
I'm waiting for all those cease and desist orders to come in.
We'll really upgrade the studio with the sponsorship dollars that we're losing, but that's okay.
Anyway, the biggest whooping of the week goes to the stat man here for destroying the commissioner.
What?
No, who'd you play? What happened? I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm gonna stop talking now.
I didn't whoop anybody this week. Let's make that clear. My team sucks.
So the Big Mac whopping.
Maybe should we just mute it again? Should we just mute it at
Let's
this point?
turn the mic off.
Should go.
Let's take the time.
All right,
we're back.
The Big Mac Big Whoopin' of the Week, brought to you by McDonald's, goes
I'm
to
loving it.
the 69ers with their whooping and a whopping of none other than the commish. Los Pandas Destinos.
Deja vu.
That's what I meant to say earlier.
Yes.
Anyways, it was it sucked.
That was bad. That was a bad week. You had 38 points. He topped it with Antonio Brown. D'Angelo Williams, I think, was the third highest scorer in the league. Second highest on his own team. He wasn't even the best fantasy performer on the Steelers. And you played against them. That's really awful for you. Rough week.
I have a tough schedule this year.
You're still in the playoff contention. We got 4 teams at 6-5 battling for 3 playoff spots. So, still very much alive. And I'm about to bow out of it. So, it's all you.
All right. Next up, we have an award we don't get to give out that often. The Dollar Shave Club Close Shave of the Week. This goes to the team who wins by less than 2 points. That is a close shave like you can get with Dollar Shave Club. And this week's award goes to Calvin Who? With his narrow margin of victory over the FC Asset Kickers.
Who?
We did a great job of picking the matchup of the week last week.
We did.
Yeah.
Exciting matchup.
Boom.
Did well. Who was the Sunday night game?
It was Chicago versus no, that was Monday night game.
Sunday night game was
Eagles and Dallas.
Eagles and Dallas, and this game didn't come down to either one of them. So anyway, it was an exciting matchup, though.
It was.
It's an exciting matchup. It was settled by the end of the 4 o'clock games, but it was still exciting.
All right. Next up, we have the Resurrected Team of the Week brought to you by Lazarus Department Stores. This week it goes to Hernandez Pistol Offense, who was resurrected long enough to destroy me. I'm very sad.
I believe they had a 48-point increase from last week's performance. They were under 100. Now they had 148. Beat the Bourbon Barons. Got a win. Still alive for the division lead in Division 1A.
Congratulations, Hernandez's Pistol Offense. Our next award is the Poopery Poo Poo Team of the Week. And this every week goes to the worst Team of the Week, the one that just stinks like a nasty dump left in a portalette. And that goes to none other than our own Ricky Bobby team, owned by Tugs McGroin. Under 100 points.
Just by 0.02 points. 99.98 points. Almost couldn't even get any closer to 100 points. It's not a very good week.
It's been a rough season for the Ricky Bobby team.
Yep, has Luck. Luck's had the injury deal. Ryan Fitzpatrick came in this week, 21 points. If he'd played Luck, I think he'd have been over 100 points, though. But
Demarius Thomas does have a lot of points, but he only has, 2 touchdowns this season?
About that sounds right.
Yeah.
We're going with it.
I'm agreeing with you.
I think that's right.
I'm going to agree with you and act like I looked it up.
But he does have a lot of points.
I'll look it up.
He's like Calvin Johnson that one year where he just had a ton of catches, ton of yards, and got
Antonio
stopped.
Brown's like that way too. Antonio Brown only had 2 or 3 touchdowns, I think, this season. Too.
Yeah. Peyton Manning distributing the rock.
Our last award of the week is the Surprise Player of the Week, brought to you by Proactive. This goes to the player who just had a breakout performance. And remember, if you have a breakout, use Proactive. It'll clear it up nicely. This one goes out to Jeremy Langford with 25.2 points, owned by the 69ers. Stabman, what do you think about this one?
We call it a surprise player, but this wasn't a huge surprise. Matt Forte was out. They had Kadeem Carey as the other running back, but everybody said Langford was going to get the bulk of the carries. But you don't expect him to get 25 points, though. I mean, you're thinking maybe 15.
Yeah,
would be reasonable for a sub. 25 points, though. Over 70 rushing, over 70 receiving. Got a touchdown. Got a 2-point conversion. It all helps. All contributed to 69ers having a huge week. All
right, and those are the awards of the week. Let's take a look now at next week's matchup of the week.
Matchup of the week.
This week's matchup of the week is between Los Pandas Desnudos and Hernandez's Pistol Offense.
Pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew. Statman, what do you know? What do you say?
I'll tell you what. I'm excited for this matchup. You got Los Pandas Desnudos coming off the beatdown last week. Very rough week. We got Hernandez's Pistol Offense, who has been kind of shaky, but had a good week. Now has LaShawn McCoy, who I think might be out this week. So could impact Hernandez's Pistol Offense. Tough matchup this week. I'm excited for this one. The two rivals going up against each other. I'm going with... Who did I go with? I don't even know who I went with.
You went with Hernandez's Pistol Offense.
Hernandez's Pistol Offense. That's what I thought. I didn't want to upset Timmy because he gets a little sensitive and he says words to me that hurt my feelings every now and then.
He does get a little cryberry baby if you don't pick him.
But we're going Hernandez's Pistol Offense to get the win. I think I didn't even know about this D'Angelo Williams issue. But I like Hernandez's Pistol Offense. Keep the train rolling. They got to keep up with the 69ers in their division. They get the win.
Commish?
Well, I'm going with myself, of course.
All right. Well, I had one question real quick, Commish. I saw this quote from you earlier in the week. It says, we'll have to find a way to contain him.
I said this?
Yep. According to this, Los Pandas news coach, Clyde Waters, said, we'll have to find a way to contain him. Who is him?
You also said you have to come out of the locker room fired up.
See, my thing says we have to avoid a big letdown.
Well, mine says you'll have to find a way to contain him.
In the reporter.
Well, these all apply. So we'll have to contain him. This is referring to HBO's Drew Brees. He needs to be contained. Yes. He needs to quit throwing these touchdowns. I need him to not have a game like he's had the last 2 weeks. What did I say for you?
We have to come out of the locker room fired up.
See, the last couple of weeks I've started off very flat and finished kind of strong with just really slow starts. A lot of my points are coming in the second half by most of my team. I need production in the first half and the second half.
There you go.
And then I said here, we have to avoid a big letdown. I said that because this game really is going to dictate the rest of the season for me. If I can't win this game, I might be out of the playoffs. If I can win this game, my playoff hopes are still alive. It is. It really is.
Yeah.
All right. And you went with yourself. Given all this new information, I'm still going to go with Hernandez pistol offense because otherwise he gets teary-eyed and cry. And I don't like male crying.
You got to keep him
I'm going to make him cry this week.
Cry, cry, baby. All right. And so that is the matchup of the week. Next up, we're going to take a look at the San Francisco 69ers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a sex joke. Versus Calvin Who? Statman, break it down.
San Francisco 69ers gets Tricandrick West back this week. Ronnie Hillman shouldn't lay a dud this week like he did last week. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the deal was there.
He's Ronnie Hillman.
It was Ronnie Hillman. Langford might not have 25 points, and Antonio Brown might not have a record-setting performance again, but I still like 69ers. Team's too deep, good at every position. Calvin Who has Andy Dalton and AJ Green who are rolling, going up and on Monday Night Football, so this matchup might come down to Monday Night Football. I'm kind of excited.
It all comes down to Monday night.
It's always Monday night.
Da-da-da, da-da-da. No, wait, that's not us. That's ESPN.
Yeah,
No.
That's not the Big Dynasty Network.
At least you didn't go too far, and we're not going to get sued for copyright.
I hope not.
We don't have any money anyway, so whatever.
Whatever.
Anyway, 69ers.
Sue away.
Too much.
Just get in line. All right, so you're going with the 69ers? Commish.
I went with Calvin Who in this matchup. Who? Calvin Who. That's who.
All right. I went with the Niners. A little worried about Antonio Brown. I mean, he doesn't do anything when Big Ben's not throwing to him. But I like the fact that Big Ben's not playing. I like him when he's hurt. I hate that guy. Rapist. Anyway, I went with the Niners. Next up, we got the FC Acid Kickers versus the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons. Commish, what do you got?
I took the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons.
Boom! Statman.
I wanted to show you some love, but no wait, I am showing you love.
You showed me
I can't even remember what I picked.
I got it right here if you want to see.
Yes. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons to get this one.
I am going with myself as well. We're sweeping it, which means it's almost guaranteed.
Phil Rivers not by, but Sam Bradford, I believe, will be the starter now for your team. So
it will be.
So hopefully Sam Bradford has good performance, throwing the Jordan Matthews on your team.
Just so you know, you are 2-2 all time against the Acid Kickers.
It's about to be 3.
And in this week's preview, they are a projected winner by 40 points in this matchup.
I've not made any tweaks yet, though.
I'm just saying.
I'm glad you brought this up because in our matchup of the week, it should be noted that Los Pandas Desnudos is 0-3 all time against Hernandez's pistol offense.
What?
Would have never thought that stat was possible, but it's real. It's real. It's on
like
my screen.
The complete opposite of me versus the Acid Kickers.
It
where
is.
I'm 6-0 all time.
It is. You got to get that first win against HPO.
I think it's due. My time has arrived.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we got Wax On, Wax Off versus the Scarlet Pimps.
Scarlet Pimps.
Statman.
All right. This is a tough matchup. Scarlet Pimps is going to have Julio Jones on bye. Just lost Malcolm Floyd. Has Devontae Freeman on bye. And Wax On, Wax Off is, wait a second, 5-1 against the Scarlet Pimps all time. 5-1. Wax On, Wax Off just has Scarlet Pimps' number. Gave them their worst defeat this year. They've only lost twice. One of them was to Wax On, Wax Off. I'm going Wax On, Wax Off to get the sweep. I'm sure I'm going to hear about this later this week, but I'm going with Wax On, Wax Off in the win.
All right, Commish.
I'm going Wax On, Wax Off.
I'm going with the Pimps. It's like saying the name. Next up, we got the Wolfgang United, Rocky Mountain High, versus the Ricky Bobby team. Talk about a pillow fight.
Wow.
Statman, do we even care? But we have to log it, so tell us.
We got to make a pick. I'm going Wolfgang United. I don't have any real reason except for Ricky Bobby team. I don't.
You love to not choose them.
I love to not pick them.
That's your reasoning.
That is true.
Kamish.
I'm going Ricky Bobby team. They're 2-1 all time against Wolfgang.
I went Ricky Bobby team as well, just because. Why not?
Why not?
Last but not least, we have Victoria's Secret, former champion, versus Wayne Enterprises, still an aspiring champion of the league. Kamish, who do you got?
Well, in this matchup, Victoria's Secret is 1-3 all time against Wayne Enterprises. Wayne Enterprises, even though is injury plagued, I think still has what it'll take to beat Victoria's Secret this week.
All right, Statman.
Glad somebody has faith in me because I'm going Victoria's Secret to get the win because my team sucks.
Seeing as how you don't have confidence in yourself to win, I'm going with Victoria's Secret as well. And those are the matchups for this week. We got our picks in. Please get yours in.
Yes, let's do a quick update.
The update is rough.
I'm happy with the update. I jumped 2 spots this week.
Yes, right now, our fantasy pool pick summary, it's turning into just a 5-person race here because everybody else seems to be bowing out.
Yeah.
There's only 5 of us left. We got Wayne Enterprises in first. 2 back is 69ers and Wax On, Wax Off. 4 back is Los Pandas Asesinos, and 5 back is the Bourbon Barons.
Yeah.
So
I tried really hard to make up some ground, hoping for some upsets last week by going against your guys' picks. It didn't work out.
Yep, there are still 30 games left in the season, so a lot can happen in these last 30 games in these picks. So,
all right,
try to get ourselves $50.
One last piece of General League housekeeping. Just want to throw out there the announcement that the trade deadline is quickly approaching. Trade deadline for this season is Wednesday, November 25th at noon. Again, that's noon on Wednesday, November 25th.
When's it? Right before Thanksgiving.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Turkey.
All trades for this season
Pumpkin
have
pie.
to be in.
They have to be submitted by then?
They have to be submitted by then.
Okay.
Gravy.
As of noon. When the clock strikes noon, the option to
Sweet
trade
potatoes.
a player will not be available to you in the system.
Cornbread.
Stuffing.
Any trade submitted prior to that,
You don't
even
like
if it hasn't
stuffing. You like
processed, will still be okay. Just has to be submitted.
Yes. Dressing.
It's not in
By
the carcass
then.
of the bird cooked. It is not stuffing. It is dressing.
But it's stovetop, whatever.
It's stovetop dressing. It's not stuffing.
Okay. Stovetop dressing is the best.
What if you take the stovetop and put it in the bird?
I don't think you can do that. I think it's just, isn't stovetop just powder until you put water on it?
Powder.
It's just like bread.
It's bread.
No, I don't use
Then you
stovetop.
need to make it in the water. Oh, it's so good. It's so
So
good.
what
A
if you
pumpkin
make
pie.
it and then put it in the bird?
If you make it and you shove it in the carcass of the bird and you cook it in
You
there,
stuff it in the bird.
then it's stuffing. The stuffing has to happen for it to be stuffing. Otherwise, it's just dressing.
Interesting. It's still delicious either way.
Interesting.
It's way better if you stuff it inside a dead bird. Most things are, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway,
Good to know.
that is all we have left to say today. Goodbye.
Good luck this week. Make your picks.
Stay safe. Play the music. Cue us out here.
Gotta